What's going on, everyone? Today in this video, I wanted to talk about a few frugal grocery shopping habits of a minimalist. Now, there are definitely ways we can all cut our monthly food expense, but today I just wanted to share a few ways I cut down on my monthly grocery bill. But really quick, if you're new to the channel, welcome and thank you for stopping by, and thank you for 600 subscribers. Really appreciate it. But here on my channel, we talk about minimalism, frugal financial habits, and things of that nature. And if that sounds good to you and you end up liking the video, be sure to like and consider subscribing. Now let's get right into the first thing on this list. Now the first thing on this list is to go to the more affordable grocery stores. Yes, this might seem pretty obvious, but let me explain. I mostly go to Aldi, Walmart, or Trader Joe's. I definitely recommend going to an Aldi if you live near one. It is very inexpensive there, and I know how exciting it is to go to Walmart. It's also very affordable to shop there. Aldi and Trader Joe's, for example, sell just about exclusively their own brand, making it much more inexpensive. And we all know Walmart's private label is the great value sign that you see all over the store. Sometimes these stores cut expenses other ways rather than the quality of the product to keep the cost down. So take advantage of that. And I know there are even a few apps out there that help you find the cheapest local grocery store around you. But my top three in my area are Aldi, Walmart, and Trader Joe's. Now, the second tip here is to make a list and stick to it. I hate the cliche, don't shop when you're hungry, but it is very true. Try not to deviate the list that you make. I shop with the intention of having meals in mind rather than buying random snacks or random junk food. I'll also avoid random spontaneous items right before checkout or any last chance items. Unless you legitimately enjoy just browsing the grocery store, I recommend getting what you need, paying, and then leaving. So have a list, keep meals in mind, and stick to it. So going off that last note, this next one on the list is plan for meals. Instead of buying a bunch of snacks and eating those until you're full, shop a little more intentionally. Things like pasta, rice, oats, beans, and eggs are all good bases for meals, and aside from eggs, they're all really high in carbs and they can keep you full. Big bags or big portions of these items tend to be really cheap, only around $1 or a few dollars. Not to mention, if you get 1 or 2 seasonings, they're really cheap and they make whatever you're eating taste 10 times better. Also, unless you're a vegan, I recommend you start eating eggs. They are very cheap at almost any grocery store. Even buying organic, you're really only paying around a few cents an egg, but they're very cheap. They're high in fat and protein for those of you who are doing or care about keto. Anyways, I don't mean to talk that much about ingredients. Just plan for meals. Keep in mind what might be easy for you to bring to work or school, and try and avoid throwing random snacks into your cart. Now, the next thing on this list is to compare items. Not quite as literally as holding 1 or 2 things and comparing how they look, but notice things like individually packed items tend to be more expensive. For example, buying individually packs of oatmeal tend to be a little bit more expensive rather than just buying a canister of oats yourself. Same thing goes for things like trail mix. Pre-cooked and pre-cut meat also tends to be more expensive. I noticed that uncooked chicken tenders tend to be more expensive than uncooked chicken breasts, and all it takes is about 2 minutes to cut up these breasts into tenders. It's the same exact thing. A little extra time cutting this meat will save you some money. You can see here that the chicken tenders are a little bit more price per pound rather than the uncooked breast. Also, with comparing items, I don't really buy organic produce if I'm not eating the skin of the produce, like avocados, bananas, and pineapple. Some places also charge per unit of produce rather than by weight. So for some places, if they're charging per unit, make sure you get the bigger produce so you get a bigger bang for your buck. Or if you're going somewhere where they charge produce by weight, make sure you only get what you need. So you're not wasting any money and you're not wasting any food. And one more thing with produce, if you could put aside your pride for a second, Walmart has pretty good frozen bags of vegetables for around $1, and I can make that stretch about 2 or 3 meals. Just saying. So the next thing on this list is to consider buying store brand. I touched on this a little bit earlier, saying how Aldi and Trader Joe's, for example, almost exclusively sell their own private label. But if you look at the ingredients of products in places like that, or on the great value products at Walmart, for example, most of the ingredients are exactly the same, and there's really no need to pay more money for the name brand product just for having its label slapped on the box. And for all we know, it's probably the same exact company making the store name products. For base items that you're going to cook, like rice and beans and oats, for example, are you really going to taste the difference between Quakers and Great Value? Probably not. A good example is this cereal that I buy at Aldi for around $1, and the exact same cereal over at Target is a couple dollars more at Target, but I swear it tastes exactly the same, and I'm very picky with my cereal. For Aldi and Trader Joe's, I can say they hold a pretty high standard for whatever gets their label on it, and just because it's a little cheaper doesn't mean it's always lower in quality. Now, the next note on this list is to check the discount or sales rack. I know for a fact that Walmart, Target, and if you have a Ralph's anywhere near you, all have these racks. In my experience, I mostly find bakery or bread items here, which means they could be frozen even for a couple weeks or so and still be completely fine. Don't judge me. The prices for some of these items are sometimes even cut in half. Just keep in mind that the sell-by date on these products means that they need to be sold by this date, not consumed by that date. I don't have an exact place for an example. I know that some stores have their stuff marked down daily towards the end of the day, again knocked down sometimes by 50%. So check the sales racks. Sometimes if there's a surplus of things that they have that they just didn't sell, they end up on those shelves also, so give those a look. So one more thing is to budget yourself. Yes, I know, very obvious, but there are a few ways you can budget yourself to stay under a certain dollar amount when you grocery shop. I like to pick a certain dollar amount that I'm gonna spend when I go somewhere, but a few other things you can do is stick to a certain number of bags that you wanna fill, or limit yourself to carrying a basket instead of pushing a cart if you know you're gonna fill that shopping cart. A good tip is to round up estimates. So if I go into a store knowing I only wanna spend $20, every time I pick something up, I make sure to round it up to the next dollar amount so I know I'll stay under my budget. For example, if I pick up this cereal that is around $1.60, I'll just round it up to $2 so I know I'll never go over my budget, and I might even be pleasantly surprised when I see my total when I'm about to leave. Expect to pay more and then be surprised when you end up paying less. Anyways, that was just a few frugal grocery shopping habits I adopted as a minimalist. I hope you got some value out of this video, and thank you for watching. If you did get value out of it, be sure to like it and consider subscribing to the channel for more of this type of content, and I'll see you next time.